The Ship's Carpenter. In old Dublin city, in Erin's green isle, there lived a young maiden, her name Mary Giles. A young sailor, he courted her long for his dear, and him by his trade was a ship's carpenter. He says, dearest Mary, if you will agree to give your consent and to marry with me, your love it can cure me of sorrow and care. Consent then to marry a ship's carpenter. But it was in vain that she strove to deny, and he by his cunning soon made her comply. But when she discovered that with child she was, she sent a sad message straightway to her love. She said, dearest William, you are going to sea. Remember the vows that you made unto me. And with tender embrace to her he did say, I'll marry you, Mary, ere I go away. With tender embraces they parted that night, and promised to meet by the dawn's early light. At dawn in the morning then we will write down the ring for to by our union to crown. Then he said to Mary, will you come with me? Before we get married, some friends for to see. He led her through groves and valleys so deep. At last this young damsel began for to weep. She says, my dear William, you have led me astray, because my poor innocent life you've betrayed. Oh, pity my infant and spare my poor life. Let me live full of shame if I can't be your wife. Her grave with a spade lying near she espied, which caused her to weep and most bitterly cry. He pierced her poor breast, and the blood it did flow, and into the grave her poor body did throw. He buried the body and then returned home, leaving none but the small birds her fate to bemoan. On board ship he went without more delay, and set sail for Plymouth the very next day. That night as the man having courage most bold, to get him some food he went down to the hold. A beautiful damsel appeared to him there, and held in her arms an infant so fair. Then to his amazement she vanished away. Then he told the captain without more delay. The captain then summoned the jovial ship's crew, and said, my grand fellows, I'm afraid one of you have murdered some damsel ere you came away, whose now injured ghost haunts the ship night and day, and who for her murder he will have to confess, or never again will his soul be at rest. And he who won't confess his life we'll destroy, and he shall be hung on the yardarm so high, But he who confesses his life we'll not take, but we'll leave him on the first island we make. Then William with horror he fell to his knees, and the blood in his veins with terror did freeze. And lo, that poor creature beheld such a sight, that raving distracted he died that same night. When Mary's dear parents they came for to hear, they searched for her body, their daughter so dear. In a lonely dark valley, in a grave cold and deep, they found her poor body, which caused them to weep. In St. Sully's churchyard her body now lies. I hope her poor soul is with God in the skies. Come all you young fellows, a warning to all, that dares a poor innocent maid to enthrall.